Your mom told me you wrote a book. And then I went out with your cousin. He sent me the link. Later that night, I started listening to it right off the bat. I identified with everything you said. I was like, I can't botch it up with him because I was trying to get to you because I want you to be my thought leader. 6 months ago, I was like, Lindsay, I didn't know I was outraged. Our producer was like, I think you're just waking up to the national narrative. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But it was your word that I was like, that's what I'm saying. Every sentence. Listening to your voice, I felt like I was having conversation. No one's saying what you're saying.
Thank you. Because I feel like either it's the red pill for people. Now, once they see it, they can't unsee it. Or it's feminism 101 and they don't like that. I was trying to do both at once, where it was like, I want to come at this explaining what it feels like to live as a white woman, because nobody seems to understand it. Want to say it and write it in a way where people can understand it, which involves a lot of feminism 101 of explaining what the male gaze is.
You get too far in. Do you want to introduce yourself and the book that we're talking about?
Hi, my name is Elissa Bassist. The award-deserving book, Hysterical.
To those who will never read your book, could you tell them a little bit about it?
Yes, it's about every definition of the word. It's about the historical use of the word, where it was thought in the beginning of time that only people with wombs could be hysterical because we were ruled by our emotions and our emotions made us sick. And it was used as a way to call women insane or ill and to incarcerate or kill them accordingly. It's about how our emotions do affect our physical health and how it's not all in our head, how it is and isn't all in our heads, and how the word is now used as a bad word to label any thought or feeling a woman has as bad. It's about a collective feeling of being sidelined as a gender and a community just by virtue of having a female body. It's about how we need our voice to survive. And it's very funny.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Because it makes the topics that you're talking about more approachable when you can insert some humor into it. It really is like you voice memoed it and I'm listening to it. It's like talking to you in person.
You know, thank you so much. So I teach writing and I teach how to turn sob stories into more entertaining stories, because people will ignore a sob story when they will listen to a joke. So I talk about how to trick people into listening and into understanding you by making them laugh. And one of my writing hacks is to leave voice memos and transcribe them, because your voice comes across so well when you're talking to a friend. And that's what you want to do when you're writing a book. You want to be as voicey as you can and to sound like you. So I'm so thrilled to hear that it sounds like a one long voice memo.
I told Lindsay she should listen to it. Lindsay's a reader.
I'm a reader.
I just thought this was one book in particular that I gleaned more from it by listening to it. Because I did feel I connected with you and the material. And to both of your points, I would have been less successful reading the book if there wasn't humor in it.
I couldn't have written it if I weren't laughing and making jokes I needed to make to survive the writing of it. And when I was reading the audiobook, I was like, oh, this is better as an audiobook. It was just a lot more fun and funny when I'm voicing it, because I think it can feel maybe too dark otherwise.
There's a quote in the book that says, men want you to have a sexy baby voice because it's horny.
Why do men get off on women sounding like infants?
I know, right? That I'm just a dumb girl.
The book is about how I got sick and how the medical industry treats a sick woman, and how the medical industry is still seeped in historical medical myths. And I found myself realizing in every situation I was in, I would change my voice so that my audience could hear me. And whenever I was talking to men, it had to be a high voice and it had to be a girly voice. And I was like, my voice is in my own way. Like, I can't get the help I need because I can't use my regular adult, authoritative advocate voice when I'm at the doctor. And I realized I did it in relationships and at work. And then it was too much of a coincidence when I also did it at the doctor. Because I'm like, I'm not trying to seduce the doctor. Why am I talking like this? I am my
Maybe
own
you're
worst enemy.
subconsciously trying to seduce them because they don't listen to shit. So it's just crazy. And my voice is higher. And then Chelsea, whenever she goes into production mode, hello, this is Chelsea Toronto. It freaks me out every time. Like,
But to manipulate men, I will go like this. I work in a restaurant and I'm like, I'm not going to kick you out, but if you want to just drink water for the rest of the night, because maybe you had too much fun before you got here, okay? But I'd love it if you sat with us a little bit longer. He doesn't hear anything. He just sees me twirling my hair. And really, I'm about to tell him, you're 86. Get your ass out of here. You came in too inebriated in the first place, so shut up. I use what I have and realizing what's in my toolkit to use
to manipulate men.
Thank you. I didn't know.
Oh, it's good to be aware.
At least.
And not use it as a default. That's when I get into trouble. I don't want to be using this voice that I'm using, but I can't get out of it. And I think I'll always probably default to it. And it's just an unlearning. I think Gloria Steinem said something like, the goal of life is not to learn, but to unlearn. It's like, damn, girl, yeah. Just last night, I had to tell people to be quiet because a reading was starting. And I was like, you guys, I'm not.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm laughing too.
Guys, I'm not shushing you, okay? But I would if you could just... So much.
If the mission of the book is to educate people who don't know, do you feel like you've been successful with that?
According to you, yes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've changed our lives.
Thank you. I think it's a person by person basis. So I've heard from a lot of people, it has helped them so much. If I wanted to help men, I failed because not many men are reading this book. They don't want to read it. Except for my cousin.
Yeah.
Who loved it a lot, and I appreciated that very much. When you write a nonfiction book, you have to write a book proposal where you talk about who are your readers. And my readers are you. I was hopeful some men would read it, and I think some men did. And their lives and the lives of everyone they know around them are different and better. I think that's true.
That is.
Yeah. And I think the book can have a renaissance, unfortunately, now because of the election.
Yes.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, given our future administration, how fucked do you think women are?
6. I definitely think a lot of women will not survive his presidency.
You're going back in time.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, it is global because you're seeing how bad it is everywhere. It's really scary how it's happening all around the world. But here, just with what's happening with reproductive health care, that's where I feel we'll see the most death that is preventable. And it's because people want to take away autonomy and voice and take us back in time. And that is very scary. I'm also scared about violence and long-term repercussions of taking away education. There's just this huge backlash to how well women are doing because we're outpacing men in education and in jobs, and we're gaining more in leadership positions and politically. It's a huge backlash to that. It's scary to see how much they hate us, but it's in a way good. I mean, in like the biggest of air quotes, because at least now it's like in plain sight. Like now we talk about gaslighting openly, way more openly than we ever have. So that's good. At least we now have the awareness and the visibility where we can call it out and say, like, this is what's happening to us, when before I don't think we could.
Do you think if we asked nicely like this, that they would let us be in leadership positions?
Pretty
Please,
please.
can I please have an abortion?
They-
Why do you think that there is more awareness of the imbalances showing up?
I think Me Too was major. We had millions of people sharing their stories of oppression and violence. And we also did become politically active. It didn't go our way, but I think
But we put up a good
there were still so many people who were radicalized and emboldened and who see the problem and don't like it, and were doing what they could to stop it via protesting or voting.
Yeah.
We just also saw the resurgence and of the other side. I think their reaction to us just proves how strong we did get, because it galvanized them to double down on their beliefs. And they are fighting so hard for their last grasp of power.
by controlling how many kids someone can have and keeping your woman at home in the kitchen, keep taking care of your kids. That's, I think, the last power struggle that they have. But there's also this mating crisis going on.
I think we're going to solve the problem, because they're going to eradicate themselves because they don't want to hook up with a lady.
Well, do you know about the 4B movement?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you an active participant?
Here we are. High five us. Yes, I am.
Invented it, but we invented it.
I feel so seen. It's nice to be a part of a group.
I know, isn't it? I'm like, I've
Yeah.
been in the movement this whole time.
You know, you can tell. Yeah.
It is backfiring on them. We're smarter than them.
Yeah.
They forget that they're dumb.
And now you're not going to have little guys to keep running around. So it's like, all right, you do you.
That's why they want to get rid of abortion, because they want their one shot. They are taking it.
Speaking of guys that we don't want to have sex with, there's a section in your book about fuck taco. Okay, just trigger warning, because we're going to be using rape a lot. So you're in this relationship with fuck taco and you're having sex with him. It's not great. It's not comfortable. The doctor not listening to you, saying that there's something wrong. Can you talk more on that experience?
Yeah. Okay. Fuck taco is different from my college boyfriend, even though I had both of them in college. And it was hard to differentiate. And it was a very confusing part of the book. And my editor was like, I don't understand your relationships. And I'm like, girl, same. So the college boyfriend is the one who hurt me. I lost my virginity to my college boyfriend, and he was the campus slut. So we were really meant to be in the rom-com way of things. He deflowered me and it hurt. And then every other time after, it hurt, and it never stopped hurting. And so, of course, something was wrong with me. I went to 3 different gynecologists over many months, because there's something wrong. I'm getting the wind knocked out of me. I feel like I'm being stabbed. Every gynecologist's reaction was absurd. The first one was like, yeah, I hear that a lot. What's the problem?
What's your deal?
Keep having sex, like literally prescribed, have more sex. Then another gave me a vaginal dilator, which is a medical term for a dildo. She was like, just use this for 15 minutes every night while listening to soothing music, and we'll stretch that vagina out so your boyfriend can keep having sex, because that's what matters. And she made me use it during the appointment, which I did not want to do, because I was like, I don't know what
No.
but that's a dildo and we're not doing this. But she did it. And
Oh no, you're frozen.
Come back.
Come back.
Come
no,
back.
hello.
Jack.
Come back to us.
Right. It's such a good moment.
Did you imagine
Hello?
having
Am I
these
back?
dildos?
No, I'm
In
not
front
back
of
yet.
your like this? Am I doing it right? Wait,
Trying to
Did I get up in
reconnect.
there far enough?
I'm trying.
it- God damn, that's so awful.
Damn it.
What happens now?
Uh-oh.
What's happening? Oh,
We'll just jump back in. She'll come back in?
yeah. Oh, such a good part of the story.
I know. Literally. Is the patriarchy shutting her down? I'm like, I love you. I love you so much.
That was a fun way to jump in.
Yeah. Not making it awkward.
Mm-hmm.
A love fest.
Yeah.
Doing impressions of her mom.
100%.
Yeah, no, I knew that would be They're still not friends, huh?
No, and now she went to the Unwell Network with Alex Cooper. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I know.
What?
That's a big fuck you. Like,
Fuck you.
like you want Barstool? Okay, bitch, I'm gonna go to Unwell.
Oh man.
I know.
What should we do? Do we just wait till she comes back?
Yeah.
Does she know to come back?
Just send her an email. Like, is the patriarchy trying to keep you down?
Silence you?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there you
Terrible
are.
time to be cut off.
I
was just gonna
They're trying to
say,
silence
it's
you.
the-
No, they don't. But we do.
We do.
So keep going.
You were at the doctor,
And
and
she
was
was
making you
ma-
show her.
Yes, she was making me let her show me how to use a dildo. And it was as bad as that sounds. And I remember I had asked for size large to take home with me. And she said, I used a small on you. And I said, I'll take the small then. Something you were
Do you get charged for the dildo when you
and
check
I'm
out at
sure-
reception?
Actually, it was cheaper than your sex store and paying. So it was going to be like a lifetime problem. But at the time, I just got this dinky little dildo that I had to take back with me to college and use every night, like lube up, use it,
Oh.
and just let my vagina be expanded. My boyfriend, who was really struggling, like he wasn't taking it as a compliment that I couldn't accommodate him. He was just mad because he wanted the sex. And I couldn't give him the sex. And so I was a bad girlfriend. And we would get in these really vicious fights, like about microwave popcorn that were really about my vagina. The problem just kept getting worse and worse. And it was never suggested that the problem could be him. The problem could be this relationship. The problem could be that I was afraid of him, that I was in pain.
And that's like tried and true. Even when it goes beyond having sex and trying to conceive children, it's always, what's wrong with you? Like, what am I not able to have a child?
Yeah,
it's always
and
our
we
fault.
have to punish ourselves by taking every kind of supplement, using any kind of dildo, trying to fix while not addressing the other core issue. And nobody's like nice to us about it.
You must have acquired quite the dildo
I have such
collection.
a dildo. Having a bunch of issues with men, I had to acquire many more. So now I have like a drawer of dildos, and it like looks like I'm like a real sex fiend.
It's absolutely insane that that is a prescription. And this was not that long ago. This is 10, 15.
Yeah, it was
20.
like 2005.
That is
Insane.
so recent. I am so sorry.
Turn the century medicine. Let's just try things.
I'm sorry. So
Hysteria
young. It's
cure,
so
they
little.
thought. I wish the prescription were orgasm and not dildo. Like it was like, let's redirect our energies, but it wasn't that.
Along the same lines, when you are working at your publishing job and you're doing your essays about yourself, you bring up the topic diet rape, or I should say they wanted you to coin it.
That was
so
insane.
fired
I
up.
was a graduate program. So I was getting my master's with other people who were getting their masters in creative nonfiction. So we were adults who were getting a higher education. And about this story about my boyfriend, one of the guys in the class who we critique each other's writing in a workshop setting. And he wrote me this 1-page single space critique that he titled How to Make a Guy Cringe, because the original title of my essay was How to Not Lose Your Virginity. I was very bad at titles. And then he suggested I need a new word for my situation, and I needed to call it diet rape or caffeine-free rape, or I can't believe it's not rape, or rape 2. And he was like, I'm just trying to be funny. And also, you can't call it what you're calling it, because it wasn't criminal. He's like, did you go to court? If not, then it wasn't as bad as you say it was. And then I took this to the director of the program, because I was like, this is the critique I got. And the director of the program, older white man, so unbothered. He was like, I don't think I should talk to him. I think you should talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this is where you crack your knuckles and get your neck cracked and you're like, let's fucking go.
So to deal with both of them, I ended up writing about it for New York Magazine, where then the comment section went to town on me and eviscerated me and hated me and sided with them. I was so sad for so long, because I was like, clearly these two men did something very bad, and I'm going to tell on them in a very public way. And then it turns out...
How did you get through that? The public
I quit writing.
turning on you.
I just remember crying in a dry bathtub to The Rainbow Connection on repeat, and not leaving my apartment. Stopped socializing, stopped dating. I just completely isolated, and I was like, I quit everything. I'm not gonna write and publish. I am just going to tunnel inside myself and live there. And it was a very sad and lonely time. This was way before Me Too. So people were not into these kinds of stories. And it was even hard to get it published, because I had a lot of similar stories about sexual violence, but because it wasn't back alley rape, it wasn't bad enough to publish. And people were like, this is just bad sex.
And that is why so many victims don't come forward, because if it's not back alley rape, it's date rape or
college.
Or
if it's just college.
I mean, I have been so drunk many times to be like, did we hook up? And then they're saying you should go get plan B. I'm like, okay, I guess that happened. And I'm so young and naive. I don't know is technically a rape, because I don't even remember it. And I'm unconscious, blacked out. But to me, I'm like, well, that's college. So we're just so programmed to not even put more thoughts into
so
it.
I feel the naming of the situation was difficult, and it plagued me. And in one sense, I want to call this rape because I don't want to normalize sexual violence by calling it sex. I want to call anything that is unwanted rape, because it should be scary, and it should scare people off, and it should make them not want to do these things. And then of course, I'm socialized to be like, that's so evil of me. Then I am making these men sound like criminals, when really we were just stupid kids and everybody made a mistake. So it's not giving them the grace that they deserve. And then I'm like, I really don't want to hurt them. I really don't want to make it seem like bad sex is rape, when it's just so nuanced and a very difficult concept and conversation that I never want to stop having.
Keep it going.
I mean, you're taking on a serious fight on behalf of women. What you must go through in order to tell the truth. You must be like stonewalled, and publishers don't want to publish your work. But this is what's happening for realsies. This isn't out of the ordinary, right? This is life. It's amazing how no one wants to talk about what's really happening, or it's just our side of the story. I feel bad that you have to take that on. So I appreciate it because I couldn't
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
a weird career I've chosen to have. It was just so frustrating. I found like myself having like every conversation turned into a fight. I was arguing with people I was on dates with. I was arguing with family. I was arguing with friends.
Ugh,
It was
yeah.
exhausting. Why I keep having this argument. And then I figured out how to have the argument in the book. And that felt great. I don't have to keep having this argument on dates and with family and with friends. Like I can have it in the book with people who want to read about it. And I can be a writer warrior as you.
You are.
Nobody wants me to be a feminist. The men don't, the women don't. I don't. It's hard. You don't always know who you're helping.
Do you think that since you can't get the message across in a serious note and you're using humor to educate, do you think that the message is
Yes,
still
and if not
as
stronger.
strong?
I don't see humor as a crutch. Like I know humor can be a defense mechanism, but not when used correctly. I do it so purposefully so that people can process it. And it might not hit with everyone. Like I really wanted my book to be known.
I could rival because I have a whole bit on rape,
Yeah.
and I was like booed off the stage at every open mic. The ladies would be like, "That's kind of funny," and inevitably, it's all men, and they don't think it's funny. Well, if you don't think it's funny, don't do it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, if
I
I'm
could talk
laughing,
about that all day because I really think like rejection depends on the room. But because men have defined what's funny for so long, you know, violence against women is funny. Periods can't be funny. Tampons can't be funny. Menopause can't be funny. But like farts and urine and semen and all that shit can be funny. Like it's just because they've defined what's funny, and you have to tell even more rape jokes even more often.
I do this bit where I'm like, I'm not even worth raping. You're going to have to take a PTO, drive 2.5 hours, spend $100 on gas, hike up a mountain for 2 miles, sit in the bushes without Wi-Fi and just hope that I walk by. I was like, you're not raping me. I'm like, I'm not worth it. And I was like, my eggs are Downsy, my boobs are chicken cutlets, and my ass is a wet bag of popcorn. Like, I'm just not worth
great.
it. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Their balls shrivel up inside of them when they hear it. They're scared for their lives.
I'm like, but you guys talk about
I
the
feel like
worst
they're telling on
things.
themselves that they can't find that funny because it's striking a chord in them that makes them afraid, where it's like, if you were innocent, you would find that funny because you would understand that you're not being implicated. She's not talking about the men in the room not raping her. She's talking about like rapists. That doesn't have to be you.
And I say that too. I'm not talking back alley rape. I mean, and I used that term even before reading your book. That's why we're instant best friends, because we love the term back alley rape.
This is like sometimes the only way to talk about it is to joke about it. Yeah.
Well, no one else would listen. Then they would silence us, and then
Right.
your life
and
is
we're
almost
not allowed
in danger.
to talk about rape seriously. That's fucked up too.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, you could get in trouble. You could like physically suffer harm. If we used our platform, we wouldn't be having this conversation today, because I feel like even just our friends and family that do listen, they'll be like, you need to shut that shit down. Even like with your mom, she was like, yeah, well, she wrote a book, but
and they call the rape chapter
what I
the
mean?
pornography chapter, and I'm like, that's a big part of the problem. Like, that's not pornography. And it's like, doesn't us joking about it, we aren't contributing to the astronomical assault statistics. That's not us. We're not inviting it, asking for it. Like the people who are contributing to the skyrocketing sexual violence against women, those are people who are committing it, not the people who are talking about it and joking about it. Like I'm like, what? We're not causing harm. And we're not diminishing it by joking about it or talking about it. Like we're not making fun of survivors. We're making fun of perpetrators who deserve to be made fun of. And like they get away with what they get away with because of our silence. So if joking is the only way we can talk about it on stage, then that's the way we have to talk about it. And yeah, people always like freak out when I make that joke about making rape jokes in the book. I can always like I lose the audience. But it's like, no, I'm a professional. I know how to make a rape joke that is making fun of rape culture and not victims of violence. And you having a problem with it, it's just so telling.
Right.
That's on you.
That is on you.
Mhm.
We always like to play a game with our guests. We're gonna do a lightning round
Ooh,
of Would You
yes.
Rather. Okay, great. Okay, this should be fun. Would you rather be prescribed a dilator or pull out your own
Dilator.
IUD? Would you rather be told to smile or you look tired because you
I
didn't wear
like to be
makeup
told
that
I look
day?
tired. I am tired. Thank you for acknowledging.
Would you would you rather be back alley raped or a whistleblower of a congressman with sexual
Oh,
assault?
I would love to be a whistleblower. Yeah, I know that it's
Really?
very dangerous, but at
Kelly, so many
least
whistles to be blown.
they're gonna get in trouble, hopefully.
Possibly.
Possibly. You could. What about how your life is going to be impacted
I
negatively?
am more willing to accept that. I am very afraid of back alley rape. As I feel like I could I could take on the world. I would rather take on the world than that one stranger.
Okay, that's pretty telling. Okay, would you rather be appointed to the Trump administration as a reproductive rights czar or sit on death row for 10 years?
I gotta be the
I really-
czar.
In the
Yeah.
Trump administration, you are gonna.
I don't know what's
Make
gonna
some
happen, but I'm
change.
gonna Handmaid's Tale it in the way of establishing an underground network.
Fair.
I would find a way. I would actually no, yeah,
I like
I stick
that.
with that.
I like it. I get the theme that you're willing to.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Work for
Would you rather be a Weinstein Academy Award winner or a headlining female
the
comic
second
with
one.
rape
That's
jokes?
my
Death
my
threats to
droll.
follow.
My goal.
Perfect. We could write together. But would you rather be in a sexual AI relationship or in love with a narcy
AI all the way.
Peter Pan?
I have great hope for AI. Yes.
You get like a robot and the whole thing.
Oh yeah, what's your
Yeah, like what's your type of
I
AI guy?
have not experimented at all with AI, but I know that I could figure it out to work for me. I think I could be in an incredible relationship because writing is being in a relationship with yourself. Like most of my relationships with people are internally. So I'm very good at that. So I think AI and I would work very well together.
Oh, he can tell you everything that you want to hear.
I think it would be very fulfilling. And I can be
Laugh at all your
fulfilled in
jokes.
that way. Like I can be fulfilled by a parasocial relationship with a character in a book or on screen. So I can make the same imaginative leaps with AI because of my creativity.
I can see where you're coming from on that. There would be at some point I would just
We'll
some
have
type
an
of
animal.
human contact. Occasionally you just want to hold someone's hand, walk down the street.
I think the
Ever?
thing about that is when you don't have it for a while, you
Overrated.
don't miss. If I got my hand held today, I would be fucked for months, if not years. So
no,
I
yeah.
haven't had a good handhold, so I miss nothing because I don't even remember it at this point.
Okay. We should be best friends.
Well, you two sound like this in person. This is wild.
She thinks I'm so sad. I'm like,
what
no,
it
this is
is.
just what it is. She's a child
I'm
bride.
a child bride.
And from the Midwest, and God bless her. Thank
Our
you.
time to shine is going to be at the old age home. We are going to be that old lady who's spreading gonorrhea everywhere. That's our time. Life
hope.
long.
God
I think we can live it up in our elder years.
Oh, good God. I hope so. Because right now it's dusty. Else you'd like to say?
No, I like that game.
It was a fun game. I thought you were going to worm, but you didn't. I was like, she's a baddie.
If you can handle being canceled by a lot of people for your writing, you can handle Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Gone through the fire and I have coping skills now. And
you do.
There are worse things than being alone. And I've learned to. Oh no, am I? Oh shit.
how about you leave us with some words of wisdom of how to be a lady in this world and grow some thicker skin and get through a cancellation?
I don't know, I don't like that question because I feel like we are thick-skinned as women. Don't you? I mean, like, how much thicker skin can we have?
I don't think everyone has thick skin.
I feel like every day, like, my body is for somebody else to tell me, like, how to dress it and, like, smile and make your face look different and wear your thing like this. I just feel like a lot of my day is spent being dictated to because our lives are not exactly the same, but I feel like a lot of my life is being dictated to by what I wear, how I show up, and it's like, how much thicker am I?
Yeah.
I'm just annoyed.
I mean, well, I like to, like in those
Right?
situations, I think about this line from Angel, which is a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where one of the characters say, like, fight to show them they don't own you. So it's like, I will purposefully not wear makeup. I will purposefully not do what I think other people want me to do. And that feels good. Like, it feels empowering to not smile, to not look good, to not dress up. And a lot of it is also to piss off my mom, because my mom, she believes it's rude to leave the house not looking good.
I know exactly what it is because your red lipstick says everything because you can't leave ugly.
But this
You got to put lipstick
is
on.
me. If I
Yeah,
like it, then I can do it. And it's just figuring out what's for me and what's for other people and doing less of what's for other people and decentering other people. And then also just doing things that I know are going to make me unlikable and doing them anyway, because I would rather someone else not like me than me not like me. And just having that perspective shift has made me feel brave to say things I'm afraid of. Because I'm the only one who's gonna suffer.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway.
I'm just sick of making other people feel comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. So outraged.
But I know it's difficult. Every single time I do it, it's difficult. And acknowledging that it's going to be difficult and not like getting mad at myself that it should be easier and I should be better at this already. Just being like, this is hard. This is a risk. I'm going to do it anyway and get better at it and deprogram myself. But that programming is so deep.
Yeah. Do you realize, I mean, like the magnitude of what you're trying to take on is like society at its core, right? What's wrong between men and women? I mean, you're nothing like short of like patron saint of like women's rights. I have a lot of respect for what you're trying to do because it can't feel good. You are losing all the time and that's literally all you do when you're talking about stuff like this. And I feel bad. I'm sorry.
But you reminded
really
me of something that we can do. Like, instead of like taking on like the structure at large and deprogramming and unlearning, what if we just were nicer to each other and like complimented each other? Because if I heard from more people like you, it would be easier for me to do what I do. But it's just that, again, the haters are louder. So, and if I like complimented everyone's work when I felt it, like, as opposed to just like keeping it in because it's easier to keep it in, like, I want to challenge myself to be nicer and to compliment more in substantial ways. So instead of being like, I love your outfit, because you have to love everyone's outfit and say it, instead saying like, I loved what you just said. That was like such a smart insight that I'll never forget.
That was such a smart insight that I will never forget.
It's just fishing for compliments and it's working.
It's so funny. It's such a good thing going on here.
Okay, well, this is so fun. I feel like we could chat for 5 more hours.
It's the most fun podcast I've ever done. Sorry to all my other podcasts, but this was like, I can be so candid. I even had more stories about vaginal dilators if you ever wanted to do a part 2.
We do. We just want to be your friend.
You're always welcome back to talk about vaginal dilators anytime you want and any other nonsense that we come up with. That's the point of the show. Honestly, Smartless, we're just 2 dumb girls trying to learn how to navigate this world.
I think people are smarter who say I don't know than who say like I know it all, because you will learn and they will not.
Where can people find you, follow you, buy your book, etc.?
I have a website called elissabassist.com. That's ELISSABASSIST.com. 5 S's. And I'm Elissa Bassist, I think, on every platform.
Okay, make sure you buy the book wherever you choose to get your books, and make sure you follow at Honestly Smartless, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and share this episode with your besties. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.